Hello student, today we are going to discuss the new chapter और the unit आपकी सेम चल रही है unit 4 chapter 9 covalent bond modern concept. So first the polarity in covalent bond. Okay, so depending upon the electronegative character of combining atoms, the covalent bonds are classified into two categories. First one is non-polar covalent bond and the second one is polar covalent bond. So first one is non-polar covalent bond. So when covalent bond is formed between two atoms having almost same electronegativity, then the shared pair of electrons are equally shared by the two atoms and situated exactly between two identical nuclei. For example, like Cl2, H2, N2, O2. These are the examples of non-polar covalent bond. So you can see here, this is the Cl and Cl. So there is no electronegativity difference between these two elements or atoms. Hence, the polarity is not generated between these two atoms. So its bond is non-polar covalent bond. Now, polar covalent bond. Polar covalent bond, when a covalent bond is formed between two atoms having significant difference in their electronegativities, then the shared pair of the electrons slightly shift towards the more electronegative end bond, and the bond thus formed attain partial ionic character. For example, like HCl, HF, H2O. Okay, so in these molecules, for example, like Cl, HCl. So Cl is more electronegative than H. So the shared pair of electrons will partially attracted towards the chlorine. Hence, they will attain partial positive and Cl will attain partial negative charge, and this type of bond is called polar covalent bond. Next is dipole moment. So the magnitude of ionic character in a polar covalent bond is measured through a quantity called dipole moment, and it is usually represented by a Greek letter. This is called mu. Okay, this is called mu. So dipole moment is defined as the product of the magnitude of charge and the distance between the center. For example, like this is Cl and we know that there is a positive charge and negative charge. Okay. So magnitude of charge, that means these charges, magnitude of these charges into distance, this distance in separation distance between these two elements. The product of the magnitude of charge and the distance, separation distance, is called dipole moment. Its unit is debye, and 1 debye is equal to 3.35335 into 10 power minus 30 coulomb meter. In ESU, it is 1 debye is equal to 1 into 10 power minus 18 ESU. ESU means electrostatic unit, and C centimeter means static coulomb centimeter. It is a vector quantity and represented by this type of arrow, simple arrow, and just cut it at the end of this arrow. Okay, so you will see like the Cl is more electronegative than H, so the dipole moment go towards the H. So you will express it like that. Okay, for another example like H2O, So you will show like this. Okay. Now the facts related to dipole moment. Dipole moment in case of diatomic molecule. Diatomic polar molecules, the dipole moment of the molecule is equal to the dipole moment of the polar bond. Example, HCl. So the dipole moment of HCl is mu is equal to 1.07 dBi. Now the degree of polarity of such molecule is also affected by the magnitude of electronegativity difference. That means this value depending on the electronegativities. Okay, greater the difference in the electronegativities of the combining atoms, greater will be the charge separation. Hence, greater will be the polarity and mu will be greater. Now, the dipole moment of polyatomic molecules. In polyatomic molecules, the dipole moment not only depend on the dipole moment of individual bond but also upon the spatial arrangement of various bonds present in the molecule. In such molecules, the net dipole moment is a vector sum of the dipole moment. So it is just like that the H2O molecule. It is not the diatomic molecule, it is a polyatomic molecule. So it will be like that. Now the application of dipole moment. So first one is to determine percent ionic character in bond. So you can find out the percent ionic character by this formula. Percent ionic character is equal to mu observed upon mu calculated for 100% ionic into 100. These are the examples. Now we have to study about VBT or valence bond theory. So this theory was put forward by Hitler and London in 1927. Hitler and London in 1927. It was based on quantum mechanical model and concept of atomic orbital overlapping. So it was further extended by Pauling and Slater. So who gave Hitler and London and extended by the Pauling and Slater in 1931. So there are some postulates of the VBT or valence bond theory. These are the postulates. First one is the overlapping of two distinct atomic orbitals, each having an unpaired electron, results in formation of covalent bond. For example, like this is H, okay, and S orbital have one unpaired electron. Another H also have the one unpaired electron. Now they will overlap together, and in this way they will form a covalent bond because they are share their unpaired electrons with each other. The second postulate is this process of overlapping completes with release in energy. This makes the resulting bond stable. Hence, overlapping results decrease in energy. So, when any overlapping takes place or when any bond formation takes place, there are some energy released. Okay. And due to this release of energy, the bond will become more stable. Now, the third postulate is the overlapping of two atomic orbitals form a single merged orbital, and this merged orbital is called bond orbital or a localized molecular orbital. So, like this. Now, this is called the merged orbital, okay, or molecular orbital. You can see the molecular orbital. Fourth postulate is both the electrons from atomic orbitals occupy the bond orbital and have opposite spins. Each electron now belongs to both the atomic nuclei. So you can see here one is plus half and another one is minus half. So both spins are opposite to each other, and when they combine together they will combine like this, they will overlap like this and form a bond. Next postulate, the overlapping results in increase in electron density somewhere between the two atoms. So you can see the electron density having increases in the mid of this bond. Okay, this is bond between H and H, and the electron density will be greater in the mid of this bond. Now next postulate, the electrostatic attraction between the electron cloud and the nuclei of atoms acts as major binding force of covalent bond. So bonds like NaCl, in between these elements you can see the electrostatic attraction force will work. Okay, next postulate is opposite spin of two electrons neutralizes their spin magnetic moments. This further contributes the covalent bonding. So we will form orbital like this. Now these spins are opposite. Why? Because they will neutralize each other. Okay, next is the extension suggested by Pauling and Slater are: first extension is the strength of chemical bond formed depends on the extent of atom overlapping. Greater is the extent of overlapping, stronger is the bond formed, and larger is the bond energy. So like if the overlapping is like this, another overlapping is like this, so this bond will be more stronger than this. Okay, because here you can see the overlapping is more in comparison of this. So more overlapping, more will be the strength of the bond. Second is, for overlapping to take place, the participating atomic orbital must have valence electron. So both must have valence electrons. You can see there is a one valence electron in H atom, and another H atom also have one valence electrons. When they overlap together, they will form a covalent bond. Third one is overlapping of orbitals with directional electron cloud like p orbitals results in a stronger bond. So these are the directional. This is plus half, or you can say the clockwise direction, and this is anti-clockwise direction. Now next is overlapping of atomic orbitals. So there are, when orbitals of two atoms overlap to form bond, their overlapping may be positive, negative, or zero. It depends upon the sign of the wave function of atomic orbitals. So these are the ways. The first one is, you can see here, you know that there are coordinates. Okay, these are the plus plus, these are plus minus, minus minus, and minus plus. Okay, so in this way, when you draw these orbitals, it is just like that. So it is plus, it is minus, it is plus, it is minus. So plus plus overlap together. Positive. If plus plus overlap together, then it will call as the positive in phase overlap. If positive negative overlap together, then it will call as the negative or out of phase overlapping. If p orbital plus and s orbital plus overlap together, or p z negative and s orbital plus overlap together, so this will also the combination possible. Next one is the combination of px overlapping. This is in phase and this is out phase, because positive and negative are overlapping here, and here positive and negative overlapping here. Next one is py in phase and py out phase. Next one is pz and s, and next one px py, or this is called the zero overlapping. This is called the zero overlapping. So learn it like pz and px py, these are zero overlapping. Now types of overlapping, so and nature of the covalent bonds. So there are, first one is sigma bond. So this type of bond is formed by the end to end or head to head overlapping. Okay, head to head, or you can say axially overlapping, axial overlapping. So there are three possible overlapping. If s and s orbital overlap together, then it will known as the ss overlapping. Next is if s orbital and p orbital overlap together, then this will called the sp orbital. Next one is the pp orbital. So if this axial p orbital and the another axial p orbital will overlap together, they will form pp overlapping. Now next one is, so in these three ways sigma bond can form. Okay, ss overlapping, sp overlapping and pp overlapping. Now the term is pi bond. So pi bond, in pi bond the overlapping takes place partially or sidewise overlapping. So when the atomic orbitals overlapped in such a way that their axis remains parallel. So these are the axes. Okay, and the other orbital. So when they overlap together, it is just like here and here. So you can draw it like that. So this is the overlapping area. Okay, and this is called p overlapping. Pi bond is this is also known as the sidewise overlapping. Okay, contain two saucer type charged cloud above and below the plane of the participating atom. For example, like this is C and this is C. So the electron cloud will be like that. This is electron cloud. Okay, this is electron cloud, and this is. Now pi bond is weaker bond as compared to sigma bond. Pi is weaker. Okay, pi is weaker than sigma. Now in the formation of multiple bonds between two atoms of the molecule, pi bond is formed in addition to a sigma bond, and a double bond contains one sigma and one pi. So here once the single bond contain one sigma, double bond contain one sigma, one pi, triple bond contain one sigma, two pi. Okay, this is the types of bond and the pi and sigma bond numbers. Now the comparison between the sigma and pi bonds. So first one is, this bond is formed by end to end overlapping of SS, SP and PP orbitals along their internuclear axis, while pi bond formed by the sidewise overlapping of PP orbital. Okay, so pi bond is formed by the PP orbitals. Now as overlapping takes place in to a greater extent, hence the sigma bond is strong bond. If overlapping is more, Okay, this will form the sigma bond. Axial, whenever the orbitals will overlap axially, they will form sigma bond. As overlapping takes place a smaller extent, hence the pi bond is formed. So in this kind of overlapping, there is a partial overlapping takes place and the bond becomes weaker. Next is free rotation around a sigma bond is possible. So it is like if this is C and single bond C. Okay, this is H and H. So this molecule will rotate. Okay, this molecule will rotate freely because here only one sigma bond is present. But if there is a double bond or triple bond, then this rotation will not takes place. Okay, so free rotation around a pi bond is not possible because on rotation overlapping diminishes and thus the bond breaks. Now these are the examples of sigma and pi bonds. First one is H2 molecule. In between the H molecule there is one atom of H and another one. When they overlap together, they will form like this. Okay. Then F2 molecule. So in F2 molecule there is pp orbital. So here pp px overlapping takes place. It is just like that. Next one is O2 molecule. So here the overlapping of px and py overlapping takes place. So you will draw it like and just like that. Okay, so this is sigma and this sidewise overlapping is pi bond. So it will form double bond, one sigma, another one is pi bond. This is the another example of N2 molecule, and you can see here the overlapping of the px, py and pz. So it is just like px, py and pz. So you can denote it like that. This will overlap with this. Okay, this will overlap with this, and another one is this. So this light blue color is showing here the sigma, and these two are showing here pi. Now characteristics of single, double and triple bond. So first is increasing order of bond energy and bond strength, and reactivity of single, double bond and triple bond. So triple bond is more reactive, and triple bond also have the more bond strength and more bond energy. Okay, this is most reactive, most having most bond energy, high bond energy, and bond strength also high. Next is the difference between single and double bond energy is approx 15 kilocalorie. Okay, kilocalorie, not kilometer, kilocalorie. Okay, because kilocalorie is the unit of energy. Now the decreasing order of bond length of single, double and triple bond. Decreasing order of the bond length. So bond length of single bond is highest, then lesser. The double bond has the lesser bond length, and the triple bond has the shortest or very short bond. Now we are talking about the stability. So sigma bond is more stable than the pi bond because it is formed by axial overlapping. But the bond energy of double bond and triple bond is higher than single bond. This is because the double bond and the triple bond, both type of bond having sigma as well as pi bonds. Okay. Now the limitations of valence bond theory. So first limitation is, according to VBT or valence bond theory, only unpaired electron can form the bond. Only unpaired electron can form the bond. So it fails to explain the formation of coordinate bond. Second limitation is, it does not describe the magnetic behavior of many compounds. Okay, like paramagnetic and diamagnetic character of molecules. Third limitation is, it does not describe the intermetallic compound, electron deficient molecule, ions and odd electrons. Okay. Next one is, it fails to explain the bond length, bond energy, abnormal bond angle of many ions and molecules. For explanation of these, Pauling gives concept of hybridization and resonance. So these topics we will study further in next class. And next is, this theory does not helpful in the percentage ionic character of the bond. And the last point is, it does not describe the formation of helium plus 2, helium plus ion, He2 positive ion, without pairing of electrons.